You don't need to have an opinion about everything. Sometimes silence is the sharpest answer, the strongest boundary, the greatest protection for your peace. Let me give you 3 places where silence will save you more than words ever will. First, when emotions are high. The moment you're angry, heated, ready to snap back, that's the moment silence becomes power. Because words spoken in anger, they don't just disappear, they echo, they cut. They live longer than the emotion that created them. And most of the time, silence keeps you from saying the thing you'll regret more than the thing they said to you. Be silent when emotions are high, because silence protects you from saying words that anger creates but regret will carry. The truth is, the moments when you are most tempted to speak are often the moments you should stay quiet. Anger has a way of taking over your mouth faster than your brain can catch up. And when that happens, the words that fly out are not coming from who you are, they are coming from the storm you are standing in. We all know what it feels like to say something in the heat of the moment, and immediately after, there is this heavy sinking in your chest because you know you just created damage that will take much longer to repair than it took to cause. Anger is quick, but regret is patient. It sits with you, it lingers, it replays the moment over and over in your head, reminding you that if you had chosen silence, if you had just let the heat pass, the wound you made wouldn't even exist. Silence in moments of high emotion is not about weakness, it is about strength. It takes far more power to keep your mouth shut when you are burning inside than it does to let loose and explode. Anyone can lash out, anyone can clap back, anyone can throw words like weapons, but not everyone can hold their ground in self-control. Think about it, when someone provokes you, they are pulling you into their chaos. If you respond instantly, you let them control you, you let their energy dictate your behavior. But if you stay silent, you prove that their chaos doesn't own you, their anger doesn't shape you, their storm doesn't define your response. Silence becomes your shield. It doesn't mean you are ignoring the pain. It doesn't mean you are letting them get away with something. It simply means you refuse to let anger write your script for you. There's a difference between reacting and responding. Reacting is instant, automatic, fueled by emotion. Responding is thoughtful, intentional, grounded in reason. Silence gives you the space to move from reaction to response. It creates that pause, that breathing room, that space to let the temperature drop before you decide what to say. And sometimes in that silence, you realize you don't even need to say anything at all because the power you thought was in the words was actually in the restraint. Think about how many relationships have been broken, not by actions, but by words that could not be taken back. Think about the friendships that ended over one sentence, the families divided by one heated argument, the trust shattered by one careless remark. Words are permanent once spoken. You can apologize, you can explain, you can try to patch things up, but the scar of that moment remains. People forget what you said when you were calm, but they will remember forever what you said when you were angry, because anger burns your words into their memory. Silence is what keeps you from creating scars in the first place. When emotions are high, your perspective is clouded. You don't see things clearly, you don't hear things fully, you don't process reality as it is. You only see through the lens of your feelings, and feelings are powerful, but they are also temporary. What feels like the end of the world in one heated moment can feel small and meaningless after a few hours or days. But if you speak in that moment, your words don't get to expire the way your emotions do. They stay. They outlive the feeling that birthed them. And that's why silence matters, because silence allows your emotions to pass without leaving permanent damage behind. There's wisdom in knowing that not every thought deserves to be spoken, not every feeling deserves to be voiced, not every argument deserves your participation. Sometimes silence is the loudest statement you can make. It says, I will not let this moment control me. I will not let this anger write my story. I will not let this heat decide my legacy. Because that's what it is, a legacy. Every word you speak builds the reputation of who you are. Do people remember you as the one who always loses control, who always says the thing that cuts too deep, who always has to win the argument? Or do they remember you as the one who had composure, who chose patience, who knew when to hold back? Silence shapes how people see you, but more importantly, silence shapes how you see yourself. It's not about suppressing your feelings, it's about channeling them. You can acknowledge your anger without letting it dictate your mouth. You can feel frustration without turning it into destruction. Silence gives you that choice, that distance, that self-control. And when you choose it, you don't just protect others, you protect yourself. You protect your peace, your dignity, your reputation. You protect your future self from sitting in regret, from replaying conversations you wish you could undo, from apologizing for things that should never have been said in the first place. Think of silence as an investment. You're putting your pride aside in the moment so that you don't have to pay the price of regret later. You're sacrificing the temporary satisfaction of lashing out for the long-term peace of knowing you didn't damage something that matters. And the truth is, you rarely regret the words you didn't say, but you almost always regret the words you did say in anger. Silence never comes back to haunt you, but careless words always do. And the beauty of silence in high emotion is that it gives you options. When you stay quiet, you can still choose later what to say, how to say it, when to say it. But once you've spoken, the choice is gone, the damage is done. Silence is the one thing you can't take back once it's broken, so you must use it wisely. And when your emotions are high, that's exactly when silence is the wisest move you can make. Be silent when gossip shows up, because silence keeps your integrity clean and your character untouchable. Gossip is easy. It's tempting, it's entertaining, it's everywhere. People love to talk about other people, not because they need to, but because it makes them feel like they hold some kind of power. Information, secrets, stories, even half-truths can make someone feel important when they share them. But what they don't realize is that every time they spread gossip, they're not just speaking about someone else, they're speaking about themselves. They're showing you their lack of discipline, their lack of loyalty, their lack of character. And when you choose to stay silent in those moments, you're showing the opposite. You're showing strength, you're showing loyalty, you're showing that you refuse to get your hands dirty with words that can't be taken back. Gossip is poison, and it doesn't just hurt the person it's about. It hurts the person who speaks it, and it hurts the person who listens to it. If you repeat it, you become the messenger of destruction. If you entertain it, you become the audience that encourages it. But if you stay silent, if you refuse to engage, you break the chain. You stop the poison from spreading further. That's what silence does. It puts up a wall and says, not here, not with me, not in my space. Think about the people you respect the most. They're not the ones who tell you everyone else's business. They're the ones you know you can trust with your own. Because integrity is built in silence. If you'll talk about someone else behind their back, people know you'll do the same to them. But if you stay silent, if you refuse to contribute to gossip, people start to see you as safe, as trustworthy, as someone who can be counted on. Your silence speaks louder than any story ever could. It says you value character over entertainment, you value respect over attention, you value truth over drama. The truth is, gossip doesn't make you bigger, it makes you smaller. It doesn't lift you up, it lowers you. It doesn't build your reputation, it damages it. And while people may laugh with you in the moment, deep down they know you are not someone they can trust. Silence, on the other hand, elevates you. It gives you an authority that gossip can never give, because silence is rare. Most people will take the bait, most people will join in, most people will pass the story along. But the one who stays silent, the one who refuses to play the game, that's the one who stands out. Silence in the face of gossip doesn't mean you agree with it. It doesn't mean you're ignoring the truth. It simply means you're choosing a higher standard. You're choosing not to let someone else's character flaws pull you down to their level. Because gossip is always about lowering someone else to make yourself feel taller. But real strength doesn't need to step on others to stand tall. Real strength knows how to stand in silence, unaffected, untouchable. And the danger of gossip is that it spreads faster than truth. A lie can run around the world while the truth is still putting on its shoes. Gossip is loud, dramatic, addictive, and it leaves destruction in its wake. Silence is the antidote, because when you refuse to add your voice to the noise, the gossip loses its power. It dies without fuel. And even if the story continues, your name is never tied to it, your character is never stained by it. People may not remember exactly what you said in those moments, but they will remember that you didn't join in. They'll remember that when everyone else had something to say, you stayed quiet, and that silence will earn you more respect than any words ever could. There's also a cost to gossip that people don't see right away. It costs you relationships, it costs you trust, it costs you credibility. You may think you're bonding with someone by sharing a secret about another, but what you're really doing is showing them how little you value confidentiality. And the moment they walk away, they wonder if their name is next. That's how gossip works. It destroys the very trust you're trying to build. But silence builds the opposite. It builds confidence in you. It shows people you're not a carrier of poison, you're a keeper of trust. And sometimes the hardest part of staying silent is the pressure of the moment. People want you to laugh, to join in, to add your piece, because that's how gossip thrives. It feeds on agreement. But silence is powerful because it refuses to feed the fire. Silence may feel awkward at first. It may even make people uncomfortable. But that's because silence is different. Silence is strength in a world addicted to noise. And what you need to remember is that gossip is temporary. The story that feels urgent today will be forgotten tomorrow. But the way you handled it, the way you either contributed or stayed silent, that will be remembered. People may forget the details of the gossip, but they will not forget the role you played in it. Did you fuel it, or did you starve it? Did you make the fire bigger, or did you keep your distance? Silence writes the answer. The greatest thing silence does in the face of gossip is it protects your integrity. Integrity is not just what you do when people are watching, it's what you do when people aren't. It's the choices you make when no one will hold you accountable. Gossip is easy because it feels like there are no consequences. But the truth is, the consequences are real, they're just delayed. Your words will always find their way back to you, but your silence will protect you. It keeps your hands clean, it keeps your conscience clear, it keeps your reputation strong. And gossip doesn't just harm relationships, it harms your own peace. Because once you speak it, you carry the weight of it. You start to wonder who knows what, who might repeat it, how it might come back to you. But silence frees you from that burden. When you stay quiet, you don't have to worry about who's talking because you know it's not you. You don't have to worry about words coming back to haunt you because you never spoke them. Silence is freedom. So when gossip shows up, remember the power you hold. You can let your words become weapons, or you can let your silence become your armor. You can join the noise and lower yourself, or you can stay quiet and rise above it. Silence in gossip is not emptiness, it's strength, it's dignity, it's integrity. What do you think about this video? Tell me in the comments.